Let's be friends.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my Unirazat channel. And let me remind everyone to just subscribe to my Unirazat Facebook and Instagram, and as well as our YouTube channel so that you can be updated with all our latest programs. Now, can you imagine a world without technology? What if the pandemic hit before we used our first smartphones or laptops? Now, many of the digital tools that we use to keep connected now and that we are fed with and keeps us sane did not exist before the smartphones. So we have technology to thank in filling up the gaps of boredom and keeping us sane to this very day. Our lives has become faster, more dynamic, and more comfortable thanks to technology. It's actually quite different. It's actually quite difficult to imagine our lives without the use of technology, as it influences all aspects of our lives, especially at the workforce. So for today, we will be discussing a very interesting topic, and you have to know this: the top 10 must-have IT skills for career success. And our wonderful and great speakers for today will share their knowledge to all our viewers out there. We'll be discussing the benefits of developing technology expertise and how these build the future skills required to succeed in education and beyond, the consequences of children failing to develop an in-depth understanding of technology, and how parents and educators can help equip children to develop the tech skills that will be required to thrive in tomorrow's world. So before we go into the session, let's watch a short corporate video of Uniraza. Hi, welcome Mr. Hani and Mr. Sina to our talk show at Uniraza.
Yes, pleasure to be here.
Great, great.
Thank you very
And Mr.
much.
Sina,
Very good
yeah,
morning. Good morning to
yeah,
everyone. Happy Saturday. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
great. Okay, so before we begin, allow me to please read your credentials and so that all the viewers out there will know who we are speaking to and why you guys are the right person to talk about this topic. So I'll start with Mr. Hani, and your name is Mr. Behrang Parhizkar, and we call you Mr. Hani. So he is a digital strategy consultant for over 60 international companies using comprehensive digital marketing to grow the businesses in different industries by implementing interactive digital marketing multi-channel platforms. He has set up Chamrun in 2017 with only 3 people and made it to one of the fastest growing digital marketing agencies in the country. Today, Chamrun is a $1 million company and having over 30 over staff. This company runs digital marketing platform and have generated over RM 70 million in 2018 and over RM 120 million in 2019 for their clients. Mr. Sunny also has 4 years experience in developing software and in augmented reality, intelligent web, and mobile portals and won over 20 international awards and 3 years of experience in technology marketing, digital marketing such as search engine optimization, email marketing, social media marketing, AR marketing, and the list goes on. Yep, so that's Mr. Hani over there. And I'm going to introduce Mr. Sina Rahati, Chief Technology Officer of Chamrun Digital. Mr. Sina Rahati has over 16 years working experience in digital landscape working or collaborating with companies such as NSW Business Chamber, Amazon Australia, Facebook Australia, and he's currently acting as the Chief Technology Officer of Chamrun Digital that manages both Sydney and Malaysia team. His interest in digital landscape is in analytics, user journey, and team building. Sina has built a team of digital marketing experts out of few fresh graduate students that are currently running multi-million ringgit digital campaigns. Welcome, Mr. Sina, and I understand you're all the way in Sydney right now. You're joining us, and you told me just now the time is 2 o'clock p.m. Okay,
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Before we proceed, allow me on behalf of Uniraza to wish you Happy Nowruz. It's Persians' a celebration of the new year, if I'm not mistaken. So peace
Thank
and
you very
joy to
much.
you. Peace and joy to you in this time of renewal. Okay, and thank you. Despite your celebration, you have still availed yourself to spend a good 1 hour with us talking about top skills that top IT skills for career success. So, without wasting any time, I'm going to head my question to Mr. Sina first.
Yes, sure.
So, given the rapidly changing nature of business and technology, companies will be facing technology skill gaps. So, what are the top 5 indispensable technology skills in the workplace today?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I truly appreciate you, Razak, giving me the opportunity and the time talking to students in Malaysia and across the globe. Actually, in technology gap has been in the market for a while now. I remember 5-6 years ago when I was in Malaysia and we wanted to build a team, and it was not enough programmers available at that time or a digital marketing expert available at that time. So this story is happening here in Australia as well. So I'm closely in touch with Amazon Australia, which I know that they are truly in lack of cloud expert. Um, so when we are talking about technology and the gap that is exists in the market, anyone who has their hand dirty in this industry, they already know that finding the right talent is extremely difficult. Um, Now, today, we want to talk to your audience and the students and saying that what sort of the talent that we think, what sort of the knowledge that we think is going to have a better potential in in a near future. I would like to start saying that analytics is going to be the one of the most wanted career in for the next 5 to 6 years. And anyone who has the knowledge in analytics in the way that could analyze the data, could understand it and bring it to the meaningful meaning with the softwares that we have. That could be including the business intelligence. It could be analytics such as Adobe Analytics. It could be Google Analytics. If we are talking in digital landscape, it is going to be extremely important and is extremely in demand. Some other technical skills that I can see after the COVID, all the website and a lot of companies, they are moving into cloud computing. So knowing cloud computing skills, uh, it could be included DevOps, deployment, structure. Cloud computing, it's very wide and vast. So even if you get yourself into one of the category inside the cloud, you would have a job guarantee anywhere in the world. So that's not going to be a problem for you in terms of finding the job. The question is going to be, where do you want to work and how much salary do you want? Currently in Australia, I know that Amazon Australia, they are extremely short of cloud experts, uh, business structure expert in terms of the cloud computing. So finding a right understanding of cloud computing is important, and understanding what it is that you like to learn inside cloud computing, because it's so vast and varied, is important. But my suggestion for your students is, if you really like to go to that space, it is one of the best area to be expert at, and the job is always available for. Other areas that I can suggest is going to be digital marketing, which is my personal expertise. Digital marketing, exactly like cloud computing, is very, very wide and vast topic. Under digital marketing, we have a Google advertisement, which under Google advertisement also we have a different type of skills. We have social media advertisement. We have email marketing automation or marketing automation. We have remarketing. We have content. So understanding one part of these basically a system, maybe just Google, if you want to be Google expert, or if you wanted to be social media marketing expert, will open up a avenue of thousands of jobs for you all around the world. So knowing how this system, because some people are saying, yeah, I can run the Google advertisement, but you need to know that myself, I've been working with Google advertisement for past at least 12 years, but still there is room to learn. So it's a lot of things, a lot of topics sit under Google advertisement, different type of advertisement, the different type of client, different type of strategies that you can basically get yourself into it quite easily in this world. Currently all the data is available. The only question is, what do you want to learn and when do you want to learn? You can start it like tomorrow, or you can start it today after this conversation that we had. So it's going to be up to you. When do you want to start? The question is, what do you want to learn and what it is that's going to be your interest. Another area that I would suggest anyone that can get them himself into it is going to be machine learning. Machine learning, programming, understanding how the data work, and basically build the understandable flow based on the previous data. This is what machine learning does. So when you are using a computer every day, when you're using internet every day, behind the scene, from the Google, Facebook, or any interface that you are interacting with, there is a machine learning that will collect your data, extract the information, and bring it to a meaningful meaning for the providers, and give the opportunity to a provider such as TikTok, Facebook, or Google to give you a content that you are looking after. It is not something that you think it's going to be ends, or it's the lifetime of machine learning is going to be in 10 years or 20 years. It's going to be lifetime, these type of skills, because it's just the beginning of this era. Another area that I could possibly suggest to anyone that could go and explore is going to be SEO. It falls under digital marketing, but on its own, it has a great potential, and it's going to be quite straightforward to any of your students or any audiences to get into it, understand what's going on. SEO stands for search engine optimization. Everyone who has the website all around the world, we are talking about billions of websites, they like to basically be on the first page of Google, and they like to be on the top 3 result of the Google. And this is not something that it can be achievable easily unless you know the knowledge, how you design the website, how you optimize the website on page, and how you optimize the website off page. This is the skill that takes I think if you spend a good time of a few months, you could basically get yourself a start into that industry and even make money immediately, because that area also is quite vast. This is the take from me. If you have any question, please let me know.
Now for explaining in detail about what are the top 5 programs. So you started with analytics, and I couldn't agree more, because with technology becoming more advanced, there's a wide pool of data out there ready to be analyzed, ready to be used and to be mined. So why is it important? It's, because data is important to discover patterns and relationship, to make better business decisions, to, spot trends and develop smarter marketing campaigns. So that brings you to number 2, cloud computing and digital marketing. And in digital marketing, there's huge potential with Google advertisements, and as well as you mentioned at length about machine learning. And is it the same as artificial intelligence? Because it sounded like you described artificial intelligence, or it's 2 different things.
No, it is not 2 different things. Machine learning and artificial intelligence, basically they are working together. Machine learning is an algorithm to understand the data, and the AI basically help that process with the understanding how this machine learning is going to translate this data to a meaningful result. So basically it's something that it's working together side by side.
I see. Okay, so they complement each other. And finally, you also mentioned about a huge opportunity in SEO, search engine optimization, which is also Mr. Hani's strength. So thank you so much for those 5 very important career opportunities. So Mr. Hani, sorry for keeping you waiting for some time. What are the 5 important the basic IT skills that a fresh graduate need post-pandemic?
Okay, thank you very much. Very good morning to everyone. I will give number 1 to number 5 as a programming. So number 1 is programming, number 2, 3, 4, 5 is programming. However, before I answer this question, I wanted to give an introduction about the IR 4.0. If you look at the IR 4.0, which is the industry revolution, and we talk about the technology like what Sina mentioned, like cloud computing, automation, or robotic, which is actually AI playing important role there. And then we are talking about Internet of Things, which actually all of the object or things can be connected to internet and is actually moving very fast. And then beside that, we have augmented reality and virtual reality. So if you look at this technology, which is the 9 important pillars of Industry Revolution 4.0. The core of all of them is programming. So if you know how to program, then you can actually write about all of them because they are all running on the digital platform. So I will give the rank 1 to 5 programming. But now the question is, a lot of students, they come and study IT or digital marketing, but they don't like programming. So I had a lot of students before, and then Sina had to, that they come to study about IT, but they don't like programming. So it same as digital marketing that Sina mentioned, there are a lot of area that if you learn one skill, you will be able to get a great job. For example, like one of them is actually, if you know how to write a content, you have an amazing job with a good salary. If you know how to do, for example, design a website, if you know how to run a campaign in Google itself, then you actually can get a good job with a good salary. So IT is similar. So if you are skipping programming aside, putting aside, which I'm going to back to that to explain in detail, then beside the programming, which is number 1 skill IT expert they need, and then programming also, we have different types of the programming. Some people nowadays we have a programming such as Python. Python is actually very user friendly. It's an amazing skill that everybody need. It's very easy to learn. So besides the Python, and then they need to also learn at least they know the knowledge of JavaScript, which is and Java, which is the most popular programming language now in the world. So besides the programming, I think another skill which is very, very important for IT people or software engineer that we should say we should focus in, because Uniraza is actually launching a degree in software engineering. The process of developing a software. So process of developing a software, part of that is actually programming, but part of that is database. So if you learn how databases work, and you learn how to work with the database, which is you are actually managing the data, is a core of later for analytics that Sina said, for the data scientists, for data analytics. All of this is actually the base is a database and how to manage a database. Another important skill which actually I think everyone needs to know, combined requirement engineering and system analysis. System analysis is the part in the software engineering. System analysis means you understand the business and understand that how to provide a solution for that. For example, if you're developing a software for hospital, you have to understand how the hospital operation is working. If you are designing a software or a website, for example, or mobile app for a car dealer, for example. I just said car dealer because we had just a lead about car dealer business. So if you have a project or developing a software or website for a car dealer industry, then you have to understand how the real businesses work to be able to model it in the way that the software works, because software is actually a modeling of the real world. That's why we call it object-oriented. And object-oriented, which is part of the core of the designing the programming language, is actually exactly simulating the real relationship between the object in the real world and simulating the programming language. So the third one I will give to system analyst, and system analyst is I would say is very, very important skill which actually worked for me, because when you know system analyst, you actually will be a business analyst, because you understand the whole how system is working. System is the operation of the different businesses in logistics, in hospital, banking, e-government, and so on. So system analyst will give you an entire overview of understanding the system from the operation side, and also understanding the system from the business side, and then you will be able to model it and design a software. And then another important, very, very important skill is cybersecurity as we are growing. So you should see how massively we are investing on the security of our physical world. And now, if I say that we are more in the digital world, digital environment rather than physical environment, probably nobody will be disagree with me, because from morning until night, you're in the phone and laptop. So we need expert as a security guard, which I should say, similar to what we have security for our physical environment. We need expert of the security, expert in our cyber space. So cyber security is a very, very important skill. However, we sometimes we watch in the movie that a person right few click in 15 seconds hack anywhere they want. It doesn't work like that. Need a lot of analysis and skills, but it's very, very high demand job beside that. And then the last part, which actually Sina has massive experience on that, is a UX design. UX means user experience. Means that when we're designing a software, we look at that, how friendly is that software. So when we are talking about the UX and requirement that people collect from their company to develop a software, then we reach this important question that why Facebook was very successful and Google Plus was not successful, although both companies are top tech company in the world. So why Facebook could be very successful in developing a social media with many followers, and Google Plus with massive investment could not do that. So these are actually a case study that everyone can look at it, that what Facebook did that Google Plus couldn't be successful. So that's my question for your answer. Any other question, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hani, for explaining at length what are the specific skills that are required, which includes system analysis and the user experience. So aside the programming answer, and in which I know that is the core and the heart of IT, but besides that, there are so many other things that students can tap into now in order to to ensure them that they will have the skills that is needed, because like both of you mentioned, IT is vast. There's so many things to tap into, so many new programs being introduced. So some students are really confused as to what exactly should they focus on. And I like what Mr. Sina said earlier, is that they should focus on something that they like. So their interest and something that they want to learn. All right. And but you, Mr. Hani, you have really cleverly highlighted what are specifically the needs out there. So Mr. Sina, back to you.
Sure.
There is a kind of a recession that is going on right now due to the pandemic, and a lot of companies are affected and employees have lost their job. I wonder if you agree with me, if a person who has the necessary IT skills, will that be an opportunity for them to grab or start a new career enhancement?
Absolutely. Despite the global recession, many IT companies, including us, grew up faster than ever, because the demand for technology, demand for digital marketing, demand for scaling up the businesses into digital world has risen like crazy. Everyone is looking forward to basically establish their business online. They were in the past maybe 50-50, not 100% online, but these days they just wanted to go fully online, and they want to establish everything that they have within digital landscape, providing the customer with the information, providing customer with the services, as well as utilizing their staff while they are working at home. So when we are talking about in this area, actually I remember the time, it was 12th of March, that when we get to know that for first time we have to close our offices. So as you know, our company, we have a different department. We have a digital marketing department. We have a software development department. We do have a digital marketing, software development, web development, and video production department. So, initially it was a scarcity for us. How are we going to handle the entire office for the next 15. It was initially 15 days and then extended to 3 months. But as soon as we realized that our staff would be able to work from home and they would be able to perform better, we don't even think about recession or a pandemic, or we don't think about that even things are closed, because everything that we were doing it at office, now we can do it from home. Give you example of Amazon and Google Australia. Amazon and Google send a letter to all of the staff across Australia asking them this is going to be their option if they want to work from home or at the office until next year June. So since these are, and we are talking about thousands of staff, not 20 or 30, we are talking about 10,000s of staff. Another example, PwC, which is a consultant firms in Australia, also we have it in Malaysia, they also asking the staff is going to be fully optional to work from home or from office. Actually doing that type of things is just purely based on technology skills. If you don't have the skills that basically all you need is your computer and the WhatsApp phone or a phone number, you can go through that direction to work from home and get a high salary. But for us as a digital agency, as a marketing agency, we didn't had any issue handling our staff. The only things that we had to do is adopting the softwares such as project management softwares to handle the timeline of our staff to make sure everybody deliver things on time. So when we are talking about technology, I believe that I can tell you safely 95% of IT jobs would make the person able to work either from home or from the office itself. It does really not matter where they are. 95% of the jobs. Even during like the past 2 months, our team has done a very depth system analysis and the UX design of a very large logistic company in Indonesia and Malaysia without us seeing them in person. So all the point that I have is technology, the recession, all these things happening in the world make the demand for the skills that you can possibly work from home and also provide the services to the client. And the demand for going online, going digital, having better software, having better website, having a better CRM is on rise. Everyone is looking at it. And for example, us as a company, we are busier than ever because people can't really advertise anywhere else other than digital landscape anymore. So this is the reality, and I encourage all your audiences, your students, to consider that having these type of jobs will secure them for the future. No matter what's going to happen to the world, they are going to keep the jobs if they are good at it.
Okay,
that's all.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sina, for really explaining in depth about how can people go about this? How can employees go about like get from losing jobs to companies who can make full use of those who do have the IT skills, and the role that IT plays in the retention of the company and employees. So I think that there's definitely a full potential out there. Even with us at Uniraza, when we had to go under MCO, all lecturers had to amp up our computer skills, and we had to speed up learning and using the platform, the online platform that is actually already there. But I'm a lecturer, so never really touched it. It was always plan C. But it immediately became plan A, and everybody, I think we had like 100% usage of our platform in 2 weeks' time. So the need was there, and everybody just had to amp up their skills. We had no choice. So right now, as things slow down a little bit more, people can take the time to actually think and analyze and to see what are the skills that they actually need in a few years' time. And students can look into all these because whatever done and said, it is technology that is helping us push forward and advance even more so. All right, so yeah, Mr. Hani, you on the academic side, you are actually a professor, a doctor. So sorry, I did not mention that in my credentials. I just got to know. So as somebody from the academic team, academia, and as a doctor yourself, how can a student strategize themselves in order to be ready to fulfill the IT job markets in the next 3 years? And how can we improve graduate employability in IT industry?
Well done. This is actually a very good question, because as part of my previous career that I was a lecturer in university, what we found in conventional university is that the gap between the university and industry, means the job market, is increasing more and more. The reason is industry moving very fast in terms of the technology, and university need to cope with that. So university need to always look at the academy that to be able to reach the level that fill up this gap. But this gap is actually getting more and more. So the only solution for this to get because at the end the benefit will go to the students. Because the student come to university to get the knowledge and then be able to be able to fulfill the gap of the demand from in the industry. The industry need an expert. So now the solution to fill up this gap is actually university and industry work together, not only in the project but also in the teaching. And this is actually what happened in UniRazaq as one of the pioneers who engaged a lot of industry experts to come and involve in teaching and hands-on teaching. So refer back to your question is actually how we can prepare students. Nowadays, I think in the history that now we are living, we never had opportunity like now, which we have access to massive resources of learning resources online. And number two, based on the technology and opportunities, we never have opportunity like this to get a job and make money online. From the digital landscape, it never happened in the whole history that we have this opportunity. Because from your basic skill, not even IT skill, I'm not talking about the IT skill, from the basic skills that you have, your voice, the way you write, your knowledge about the languages that you know, your cooking skills, your sport skills, and many other things, your motivation part, you can make money online. So the only thing is actually you have to know how to do it, because you have the skills, and then you have to know how to sell it online and get the advantages of the technology and opportunity which is online. So we never had this opportunity in the history. Now the resources, there are a lot of resources available online. What actually now via our collaboration we did with UniRazaq is that we brought a lot of resources from industry as well as online resources, which is hands-on and practical, into the university for a student to get and learn the cutting-edge technology, what is exactly happening in the industry, and students are aware of that. One example I would like to give recently that we had, one of the modules that we taught in UniRazaq, it was about Google advertising, and the students after finish the module could be able to get Google certification. So Google certification, Google Ad certification, actually is a global recognition that not only you can work in Malaysia, but online you can work with many industries. you are completely borderless, and the opportunity that you have, you will do it. You will be able to actually work anywhere. Now the opportunity is that you can be anywhere and work with anyone in all around the world. So to get back to the question of how we can prepare, in fact, is we pay attention to the practical and hands-on and what is happening in the industry. One of the examples I always was telling to my students, and then I think my previous talk also I mentioned, learning a programming is like a swimming. If I sit and read 100 books, I would never learn how to swim unless I jump to the swimming pool. I sink and try until I figure out how to balance myself and then how to solve the problem. And programming is exactly like that. You read 100 books, you never learn programming unless you sit and start to try, which is a hands-on. And this is what actually we are promoting a lot, and that we are doing in Uniraza, is that actually is absolutely hands-on learning, because without hands-on you don't learn skills, and we are talking about the skills. So programming is similar. So when you do the coding and then you run it and then you execute it and then you find the error, you solve the error, that's the only way actually to learn. So hands-on learning is very, very important, and collaboration with the industry is great, is going well, because then the student get the latest trend and latest skills that industry need. That's for me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hani, Dr. Hani, for that academic approach. So you're wearing two hats today. One is from the education academia field, and one is from the industry. So and I'm glad that Uniraza works together with digital industries such as your company to fulfill that gap. To meet the gap, something different about Uniraza is we constantly want to work with industry so that we produce industry-ready graduates rather than just graduates who have the book knowledge but they don't have that hands-on practice knowledge that you mentioned just now. So yes, that's one of the initiatives, is to collaborate with in digital industries such as yourself, and that you conduct several modules and things like that, so that the students are just ready to leap in that swimming pool the moment they graduate, or they're already half leg in that swimming pool. So and they can swim. Right. So thank you so much, Mr. Sina. Are you with us? You're okay there? Okay,
yes.
Great. So, Mr. Sina, coming back to you, how can we leverage digital skills key to bolster workforce in the region, and really how can they start? How do they start using the skills? And what are the platforms they need to enhance their IT skills?
That's a very good question. Sure. I strongly suggest to your audience, students, or anyone who has interest in technology and especially IT, first to understand the areas that is available in the world for IT and technology. Just do some research about it. Being in this type of webinar, going for seminars and events online or offline, talking to the expert will give you the understanding what it is that you are going to be in the near future. If you pick up that specific course, or is it going to be either diploma or a bachelor degree that you want to get yourself into it? So understanding what it is that you like most, I think, is going to be the key for you to success. As soon as you understand it, to answer your question, where do they need to start? I think the first is going to be the research. I remember myself 20 years ago. 20 years ago, internet was absolutely not as strong as these days. It was a dial-up connection with a extremely low speed, outdated type of browser. If you have an audience with the age of 2022, they can't imagine how we were be able to connect to the internet. But I remember at that time, that was the interest that I really wanted, and it was something that I set my goal to be basically digital or internet expert from those days. I think your students, your audience, need to find out what it is that they really like. Is it going to be programming, which it has a limitless opportunity? Is it going to be cloud computing? Is it going to be digital marketing? Is it going to be machine learning, automation? What it is that you want to learn? So as soon as you pick up that specific things, you need to, there is no secret that you can learn those stuff either from an expert, or you can start it even yourself with the online courses that are available anywhere. These days you can find the information from internet quite easily, but there is a big problem here. Those information, or I can say most of this information, are not very, very organized in the way that you started from absolutely basic level and walk you through to the advanced level. And this is what I believe that currently what University of Unirazak is doing, working hands to hands with the industries, building up the courses that is from absolute beginners to advanced level throughout your journey of getting your bachelor degree. So, the perception of getting into university in the past was you are going to get in university, but you are going to get no knowledge at the end. I mean, not really experience at the end. With Unirazak, I think is going to be ended. So now the way that we are basically running the courses in Unirazak is going to be the knowledge as well as the experience from the real world. So combining this together make you able to immediately start working even after maybe a year or two of studying at the university. So this is going to be one of the pathway. Another pathway is going to be definitely the online courses that are available, searching around, finding out the certification that is available. For example, if you are interested in the Google advertisement, there is a certification available, Google Ads certified. So if you are looking for cloud computing, Amazon is offering a lot of certification. So you have to learn how to get those certification done. So in terms of programming, so if you get yourself into the programming, we have a lot of programming languages, but you need to start with the beginning, with the beginners type of skills. Maybe you need to start with a basic assembly or C+, and then move yourself to the Python, as Mr. Hani mentioned, or Node.js, PHP, and so on. Every single of these programming language has a huge potential for future. The last comment that I have is, as soon as you pick up skills, try to implement it in the real world. If you don't have the job, you can these days create a job for yourself. You can bring up the case studies, do it a couple of times. Or if you want to get paid for it, there are websites available that you can get into it, show the works that you have done in the past, and accept the jobs from the outsiders. It could be someone from United States, it could be someone from Malaysia, or it could be someone from Australia that would like to give you a job because you can provide it with a cheaper rate or fastest time. So my suggestion is, as soon as you pick up the skills, try to practice it a couple of times and start to use it either among friends, family, or you getting yourself into a website that you can accept jobs from overseas. That is my comment.
Thank you, Mr. Sina, for that. And I think you broke it down Yeah, we broke it down very easily as to so that people will not feel overwhelmed where to start. So it's okay to start basic first and then build up your
Yeah,
knowledge, build up your
that's
your
correct.
skills and things like that. So you don't have to start from the top first and then be overwhelmed. Um, is there any IT field that you think is still lacking but actually are in demand? Any skills or any people?
If you're asking me currently, we are, I truly believe any type of programming languages, it is in the high demand, as Mr. Hani mentioned it. In any type of cloud computing knowledge or skills is extremely in high demand, as all the website, or I can say most of the website and the software that these days that you are using it is basically sitting on the cloud and needed the deployment, needed the infrastructure, needed the sub-programming, and a lot of skills falls under cloud computing. Another thing that I can strongly suggest is going to be digital marketing. Under digital marketing, Google Ads. Google Ads is strongly in demand all around the world. Plus, analytics is one of the best skill that anyone could possibly learn. They are going to have a job guarantee anywhere in the world with the highest possible salary in IT industry.
I think that would be the key word, high salary
Higher salary. Actually, in any, I can say safely, in any of these skills that we mentioned or Mr. Hani mentioned, if you could start it slow from the beginning and slowly get yourself up to the ladder, to the some level of expertise, and make yourself expert in that area, you are going to get extremely high salary anywhere that you are, because you are going to have a knowledge that others usually don't, and you are going to be someone that is not easy to find in this market. So demand is quite high for these type of skills.
Great, and so that person becomes a niche in that in that field.
That's correct.
Thank you so much.
Sometimes just sometimes, this is, I just wanted to add, maybe a year ago or 2 years ago here in Australia, it was not, the digital marketing skills was not in a very, very high demand because we had enough people. But after the COVID happened here in Australia, because everyone is gone online, all the businesses start digital advertisement. Now digital marketing became a kind of the niche, and finding the skills, finding the people who does that is extremely hard. So that's bringing it up the salary to the next level, bringing up the expert to the next level. So, it depends on the market as a general. But what I can see is these type of jobs never die. Digital marketing, for example, Google advertisement, the amount of the money that the companies all around the world spend on Google is more than the revenue of Malaysia in total. So they are spending billions of dollars every year in just Google advertisement. So when the money flows, job is there. Cloud, when the money, when you see all the website, all the software, and almost everything that you're working now, even the Zoom, even maybe the software that we are working possibly is on the cloud. So the jobs exist and it's going to grow. So all this information is transaction that we can see throughout online landscape. So needed analytics, needed understanding, needed to find out who comes first, where do they did online, and a lot of analysis that we can do based on the information. So analysis is type of jobs that is never gonna die, and it's going to grow and grow in future. Yeah.
Very well said, very well put. Okay, we are coming to an end. So my last question will be headed to Mr. Hani. So I'm going to call you Mr. Hani back. You're back. You're wearing your industry hat now. With been said by Mr. Sina there just now, the IT industry is thriving right now, and the trend is to create more opportunities, especially post-pandemic. So, what are the initiatives in UniRaza are there to offer to the students in this field?
Okay, great question. Actually, what happened with UniRaza started from UniRaza was started in the right time, because although it was not a pandemic, they start to offer online degree. That was one of the great establishment that happened in UniRaza. One was actually offering online degree in BBA, and then the majoring was in digital marketing, social media, and business analytics. So it's very, very high demand. Again, I want to say this, that according to the announcement from MDEC, 78% of SMEs in the country are lack of digital skills. SME is 78% of SME. SME is 98% of the companies in Malaysia are SME. 78% of the companies are lack of digital skills. So what's happening here is actually providing the education anywhere, anytime, by getting a student to study from anywhere and getting access to the industry expert. I think this was one of the great strategy and establishment happening. UniRaza started last year with the degree in BBA in digital marketing, social media, and business analytics. And then now the new offer is actually the new setup and arrangement is to offer Bachelor of IT in 3 major, fully online, will give a great opportunity not only for students or the people in Malaysia, but also all around the world, whoever actually can have access to this opportunity and the platform. So the platform and framework that established before, I think it was last year. Now the new setup is Bachelor of IT in 3 major. We are going to offer in UniRaza. We are collaborating on software engineering, which is the most in demand major, computer forensics, which is actually cybersecurity, and is very, very high demand, and information science, which is actually part of being data scientist, data analytics, and information science actually is very, very, very high demand. So one is actually the number of the courses. Another one is how this opportunity or how this platform provide a great opportunity for students to start anywhere and continue their study and get benefit of the, of course, academic people and industry at the same time. So this was a great platform that, again, I go back to IR 4.0, which very soon will be IR 5.0, is actually the entire skills. So any skills within this IR 4.0, in fact, is offering a UniRaza, from digital skills, which is related to business, to analytics, to core programming, cybersecurity, data scientists, and so on. So all kind of graduates can use this model and framework to study online, get the benefit of industry, get the certification, which is global, such as Google certification, as Sina said, and then start to work while they are studying. And this is important because when a student study online, then at the same time they can apply the knowledge and skill in their job. So many of the students who start with the UniRaza last year, now they open their own company, do the e-commerce businesses, and then they're learning and applying. And this is the right way. This is the way that we have to go about learning and education. So this platform is which provided for students, give them the opportunity to learn anywhere, anytime, to apply the knowledge and skill for their own business, and then in fact start the business and become entrepreneur while they are getting the knowledge and skills from university like UniRaza. So yeah, that's my few points I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. Right, I think it's wonderful that you mentioned that students will be able to apply the knowledge that they have immediately at their workplace or even while studying. That is something that it's a golden opportunity, because most of us, we had to wait until many years later. Some of us don't even apply what we have learned. But here, how you have curated the modules, students are able to even set up their own company, and even by the time they graduate, they're probably running their own company. That is wonderful. So it does wonders to your career pathway. Yeah? We have come to the end of the show for today. I would like to extend my heartfelt thank you to both speakers for availing themselves. Mr. Sina all the way in Sydney, and you see how technology has brought us together right here. So it's amazing also to have Mr. Hani back. I think in future we'd love to see some of the students who have like what you
Definitely.
said on the show and give us a
We should
view
do.
of what they have been doing with what they have studied. So
Yes.
again, wishing both of you happy Nowruz, and please
Thank
go
you
back
so
to the
much.
celebration. Thank you so much for us stealing a little bit of your time on this wonderful day. Okay, thank you and see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Have a wonderful
I'm
day.
just
Bye-bye.
I'm just going to give some announcement to all our viewers out there, or for those who are watching the recording. Our foundation scholarship are still available, so please apply now because we have moved the intake date. So there are free foundation is still available. Yeah, so please call in to 0327891599, or you can WhatsApp 014-337-2925. You can also look at our website www.uniraza.edu.my to apply. Don't forget to follow My Uniraza on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to My Uniraza YouTube channel to know more events, and stay tuned for any other upcoming events that are on the way. Don't forget to maintain your social distancing and stay safe, everyone. Have a great weekend.